Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to your Sunday Tonic conversation with the Love Crusader. Um, if you're coming across this platform for the first time, it's called Conversation with the Love Crusader. It's a platform where we talk about love, we talk about life, we talk about relationships, and we try to do it all in a fun way. So we are live on YouTube currently. We're live on Facebook. We are live on my LinkedIn profile. You can find us on all of our social media platforms. Just look for the Love Crusader. I am the Love Crusader, and I have with me in the studio today my co-host Titi Lion. If you're a regular, you know Titi now. So we're gonna have a very great time. Anytime we have Titi in the studio, we have great time. It doesn't mean that the other co-hosts are not doing a great job. I just have fantastic people, and I like to have them around me because it means that I'm stronger. All right, I got a big fish in the house today, and he's one person who's all very very unassuming. You know, a big boy that does not want to see himself as a big boy, humbled by the spirit of the Lord. Hallelujah. He's my friend, my professional colleague. He's my brother. I've known him some many years back, and I'm super
That's
happy
true.
that I can bring him to the platform today. His name is Tosin Akande. Many people know him
Oh,
as Tata. They know him as Tata. He has his own platform that is called Tata Speaks. Tata is a Lagos Nigerian-based lawyer. He's a HR generalist, so you know when I say he's my professional colleague. He's a poet, he's an author, he's a TV analyst and a boxing abolitionist. Now that one, I don't know what I'm going to talk about it today, but I know Tata is abolished boxing. No, not our topic for today, please.
that's all. That's right.
He ran for legislative seat in the House of Representatives at the Nigerian National Assembly in 2019. They call him the Ebony Twins dad. He teaches the word of God. So he's a pastor. He's taught the word of God in UK, Nigeria, Ghana. He's an author, the author of Let's Pause a Little, a rich expose on the avoidable errors of Apostle Paul in ministry. He likes to talk about the topics that people don't like to talk about. He's a conversationalist. So TVC, all of those African station channels, he's always there. They always call him. They like to get his opinion because Akande is a very, very authoritative speaker. So I'm so happy to have you in the studio. Welcome, Barrister Akande.
Thank you. God bless us. And thank you too to Titi, the co-host.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
That's right.
I know when
That's
I, when
right.
I was saying to someone, our topic today is love and laziness. The person said, "What has that got to do with a barrister?" So he's not here to talk about legal stuff today. Here to talk about relationship because he's also a husband, of one wife
That's true.
for I think over 15 to 20 years. I don't know the exact years. He's going to tell us the number of years. He has
All right.
children, father to young children. So
That's
he
true.
is experienced in relationship and can talk about relationship. And that's what we're talking. We're talking about love and laziness today. It is a continuation of our conversation on financial stability, which we started last week. And we had a very beautiful mommy here who told us a lot of things. If you missed last week, please go back and watch. It's the foundation we've laid for today's conversation. So, welcome everyone again. Let's get into it. Just as the person asked me, or one person asked me, love and laziness, how do they correlate? What is their, kilo kan won? Let me speak it vernacular. How do they correlate? Yes, Barrister Kande.
Yeah. Thank you very much for having me on your program once again. And I'm sure we are set for a session led strictly by the Spirit of God.
Amen.
All right. Yeah. So, to your first Sabu, what's the connection between a lawyer and then love and laziness? There's a lot. You've done very well in answering that question at the initial stages while you were doing your intro. Because it's the truth. We are all humans, and every human being, so created by God, needs to be appreciated. via love, the platform of love. But in talking about love, there are a lot of turn offs, there are a lot of killjoys that move around with the concept of love. To start with, it's only natural that opposites attract. Yet it is ironical, very, very ironical that I'm facing um, London and my partner intends to face Ghana. There's not going to be any kind of potential success or even actual success that will emanate from that kind of union.
Mm.
All right. Okay. So these are some of the takeaways. For example, the lady who asked, what's the connection? Again, I want to speak to the situation. We are all human beings. Whether you're a lawyer or a doctor or an athlete, whether you won gold that you just concluded Paris 2024 or you did not, we are all humans. And God is being said emphatically is love. But make no mistake, I insist, there are killjoys. There are things that will say draw or drag back the height of love that can be attained between a man, one man, and one woman. Like you, let me follow your words. One man and one woman. So let me leave it at that level for now. That's just an intro, a brief one.
Thank you so much. Titi, love and laziness. What's their correlation by your thoughts?
I was just thinking about it. Should they even correlate? Like, is there supposed to be a connection? Because
Ah!
they seem to be like two worlds apart. Like, why would it's like combining love and hate, you know? And they aren't supposed to be together.
That's love and
Unfortunately,
hate.
I know they are. I know that I understand that they are, but it's like one is on this side and the other is on the other side, you know. So ideally, where there's love, there shouldn't be laziness, you know, but it is what it is.
Well, Titi, let me take it off from there. You said you used the word ideally, but you
Hmm.
know that most of the times we are not in an ideal world.
Yeah.
We are in a real world, a
Hmm.
real world where issues happen every day in many homes, to many marriages.
Mm.
Do you get? So because of that, in fact, to start with, let me turn the head right on the tail. Marriage itself is an idea that must be worked upon. You
Mm.
see, this belief by many people, not only Christians, that um, whatever is from the heavens, whatever is natural with a human being, is not subject to change. I want us to disabuse our minds of such things. First and foremost, you must work on your marriage. It's not an 100-meter dash. We are talking about something that will last the length of life, supposedly, of both couples. Do you get? So if we are talking about, for example, I've always you know played on the idea, played with the idea that I want to live close to 105 at the moment. Because when I speak on air, I always promise my audience that you hear nothing but the truth. At the
Mm.
moment, I have skirmishes once in a while. Not skirmishes in the real sense of skirmish, but I have issues at times. Who doesn't even? With my wife at home. So if we don't settle it, is this how, for instance, I will continue to struggle with this woman until I'm 105 when I'm barely 50? So you do the maths. You just do the maths. Subtract 50 from 105. So is this how I'll go on living for the next 55 years of my life? No, no, Bahadadash. So you have to keep working on it. You get a situation. Some partners are just, that's the word. I like the word chosen by our sister, dear sister Comfort. Laziness. Call a spade a spade. You go to some homes. Oh, stench, oozes.
Mm.
right into your face, right into your smell systems, and you begin to wonder. At times, some of these women or men, because please, I don't want to be gender specific. This fault can come from either of the gender.
Yes.
If it is the man that is very dirty, you see it. If it is the woman, it's just that most times women are at the end. They are the end, the short end of the stick, because they are supposed to be homemakers. Okay, so you see some of these things. I used to have a friend. Whenever I go to their house, before we enter, before we enter their flat at all, you can feel the stench. You can
Mm.
feel the smell, and we have to just make do. You go there, sometimes you spend 5, 10 minutes, and when you are out, you begin to give praises to God. You begin to speak in tongues. That, thank God I wasn't consumed by this extent of anomaly.
Mm.
So you must walk. I like that word, laziness. Some people are lazy at everything. But one area where you cannot afford to be lazy is that of marriage. What your partner doesn't like, for God's sake, just simply avoid it. What you don't like, for God's sake, your partner should avoid it. Laziness is terrible because it can lead to so many untoward things. I was
Okay,
reading the scripture.
Barrister, let's try to
Yeah.
backtrack a bit. Let's
All right.
backtrack a bit. I want to start from, not go back, I want to start from the dating pool,
Yeah.
from the time when some people are dating, because you've acknowledged now that marriage is work. And
It's
I
what?
now say it's not just marriage, relationship requires work. It
Yes,
requires some form of commitment. It
I
requires
agree.
it requires somebody to show up. It requires someone to give their time, to
That's
give
true.
their, energy, to to keep their word, to be there for the other person, and even to provide. Some people will tell you,
That's
oh, when
true.
we're dating, we don't need money, but at least you will buy gifts.
Yes.
So, how does this laziness reflect even from this onset? Because we want to help those who have not entered to be able to identify that, Kai, this girl is a lazy girl, or this man is a lazy man. I'm going to have problem of laziness with this person if I enter. Let's go back and try to extract that courtship time. From that point, how do we identify it that there's laziness here?
All right. Regrettably, that's a very, very that's one stage where most people find it hard to be told the truth.
Mm,
They find that, yes, there are many red flags that you will see during courtships are easily and with intent overlooked.
mm,
I can tell you that much. A lot of people see red flags, but you overlook. You say, I'll pray about it, I'll pray over it, and so on and so forth. And some are lucky, and some, or majority, are not, two-time lucky. So they go through the problems even right there in the marriage.
mm,
Don't forget that when we are using words, we can use denotation, we can also use connotation. So denotatively, laziness is what it is.
mm,
But connotatively, and for this purpose, laziness can mean so many things. You can be financially lazy in terms of your commitment to your
mm.
partner.
Yeah.
You can be physically lazy. You can be intimately lazy.
Mm,
Anything that requires effort from your part, and you are finding it difficult, you're finding it hard to release it for the benefit of your partner, that amounts connotatively, in my humble view, to laziness.
mm.
Do you get my point?
Yes.
So if for example, I remember I was driving with an intending couple some 10 years ago. I'll never forget this. And the lady went out on a date with the groom to be, but she said she wanted to go with her small niece, just about 4 years old. So I was driving. I was the owner of my car, but both of them sat in, you know, in the back seat. I said they should allow the girl sit in front. So the guy said, "No, let the girl, please. If you don't mind, though, that you play the role of our driver, quote and unquote, let the baby sit in the back seat." I said, "It's all right. Let them sit in the back seat." And we had a ride of about 10 minutes. And inside 10 minutes, I remember I looked back like 4 times to see the welfare, to check the welfare of the little niece that accompanied us all. So Sweet said, okay, let me not mention names. No, so you don't come after me for adverts. So yeah, so we went to an eatery, and about four occasions I kept looking at the back, and so much so that the guy saw it and asked. He said, "Ah, boss, you are not really concentrating." No, I said, "Look at you." Hmm. So when we got home, I called him aside. I didn't say it in the presence of the lady. I said, "Guy, if it were left to me, oh, you have failed. You won't be able to marry this girl." Oh. He said, "Why?" I said, "Because you are not watching over the little niece to
Mm,
show that you are strong enough emotionally and mentally to
mm,
handle their burdens. I've
mm,
seen so many men who are rich in the
mm,
world, rich, but are not rich at heart enough for their partners. I've seen enough women married and even divorced who are rich cash wise but are not rich towards heaven over their partners. So you have to be rich, you have to be strong. You can't afford to be emotionally lazy. Whatever your wife brings with her, you not only watch your wife, you also watch that thing because her interest is connected to it. If you
yeah,
went out on a date with a woman and she came with a little niece, you have to show care to the niece too. And you were not even you were looking outside the car. I was driving and looking at the back, looking at both of you, and you were even complaining. I said, "Don't let your wife hear this." Do you understand now? And he came to me and said he's so grateful. He never thought about this at all. And he took a cue from there. He took a cue from there. And then the wife didn't know what we discussed. The wife came back after some 3 months and said, "Sir, since we went out together, your friend has changed." She
oh,
didn't know, she didn't know the gist. And
yeah,
that is the way it should be.
mm,
You mustn't be talking to people who are going to release what you discussed in the private chambers of a room on the rooftop. You
yeah,
shouldn't. All right. So I just laughed. But later, I think about 3 years or four into their marriage, they both told me that, look, we've discussed the whole idea that it's actually started from you. I said, to the glory of God, to God be the glory. So these are issues that many people fail to look at. It's just a thing of then marriage is of course it's largely spiritual because Adam didn't ask God for anything truly. It was God's idea. So you have to also go back
mm,
to the person who made both of you, that look, this woman is fumbling. Oh, I don't understand. Even just last week, oh, me myself, I did something strange to my wife for the first time in a very long time. I told her about my displeasures in a very, very gentle way. I said, "Look, you women are funny. When we were growing up, my father would tell you, whether I tell you gently or otherwise, the aim is correction. Young man, get the drift." So when someone comes and says, tell her in a loving way, say, what loving way, my foot. But just last week, I just did a recording of some things I don't like and sent it to her via WhatsApp. Immediately, she just came into the inner bedroom. "Sweetheart, I'm sorry." I said,
oh,
eh. I said, eh. That was what I did. I didn't have to talk because if I have to talk, I might get lost in the heat of emotions. Said, "I told you this, don't do this, don't do that." So marriage is something you have to keep working on. When we are discussing marriage, you don't come and start forming holy, holy. Oh. I
okay,
want the audience to take that. So please take that away, if for nothing, in all of my story. You say it as it is. So that
yeah,
even sometimes some of the persons speaking you invite as guest speakers need help. And they'll get it
okay,
from your audience.
okay, okay, Barrister Kade, thank you so much. This is what we do on this platform. We are always down to earth. I mean, those who follow us know We don't come here and pretend about it.
Titi,
We don't
Titi isn't,
come here. We're not,
Titi isn't smiling.
we're not hiding it. We're not
Titi
hiding it.
isn't smiling. Okay, now I can see the smiles.
You're saying it, you're saying it as it is,
Yes,
because like you said, yes, it's not about holy, it's the practicality of life,
yes,
and we're here to
yes,
help ourselves. And I have
yes,
often said it that even I, as a love crusader, I'm not the love crusader because I have it all in the bag, because I have
yes,
this very perfect
yeah,
relationship.
yeah,
We're
yeah,
all
yeah, yes,
towards
yes.
perfection. We're all learning,
In,
we're all
in fact,
to be
in
better.
fact, in fact, Miss Joseph, do you know that I've been preparing my teenagers about the effect and the impact of vulnerability? But just be careful who you show your vulnerability to, so that you will not be stabbed in the back. It's all part of it.
Yeah, yeah. So Barrister has said that there's no room for emotional laziness. You cannot
At
afford to be
all.
emotionally lazy, because
No,
I
you
know that
can't.
when we talked about love and laziness, some people, like I said, could not understand the correlation. When you are someone, whether you are male or female, who is always making excuses, you never come true for your partner, is emotional laziness. you
Yes,
know
it is.
you're,
And
you're
it's not
forever
good.
procrastinating what you know you should do. Some
Yeah,
people forget important dates, forget to send flowers, forget to send texts, like what you
it's
were
not
saying
good.
now, that sensitivity.
Yeah.
Your partner travels, you can't even send a message. Did you arrive safely? How are you?
Yes.
you know it's
Yes.
all it's all part of
Yes.
emotional laziness.
Emotional laziness. Yes.
How are you feeling the person's cup? So we want to help those of you who are still trying to get into marriage. When you
That's
see
it.
these signs, know that there's something to work on. There
That's it.
is something to work on. Start working on it. If it's not something that can be changed, actually, I mean, every habit can be changed, can be learned. If it's not
There's no,
something that
look,
can
there's
be changed,
nothing that is not
then be
subject to
careful,
change.
because it's going to become a problem tomorrow.
That's
I
it.
want I want it to tell us how laziness. So the emotional laziness we've talked about, how does it come in the nurturing of the marriage relationship? So we've talked about the before you get married. Now we're talking about I'm married. How do I begin to have issues of laziness in nurturing my relationship? I can hear you.
Uh, I think that for every marriage relationship, we need to start considering the aspect of people being open to growth. Because if you find yourself in a married relationship and you are open to growth,
Mm-hmm,
then these things would be a lot easier. The
mm-hmm.
challenge for most people is that they find themselves in a marriage relationship and feel like, especially for men, especially for men, because they feel like the target is to get married.
Yes,
Now
I
I'm
got that
married,
already. What am I
mission
working on again?
accomplished. What next?
Yes, yes.
So the challenge for most women is um they kind of know too much. So they know this, they know that, they know this, they know, and they are coming from a good place. So they want to put everything they know into practice and make it work. And they now find themselves with some other person who isn't, he just doesn't get it. You are willing to continue to work on it because that's what you've been told. The other person is like, we have finished work here. What are you working on again? You know, we are married already. We are in the house. I'm in the house. What is the problem? So that's the
Ah,
challenge. Science. The challenge is be open to growing. Be open to growing. And it's very subtle, because you feel like, uh-uh, I know these things now. What do you mean by I should work on communication? I don't know how to communicate. What's there to work on? I've told you my mind, and that's it.
But you know the interesting thing, even with that attitude, it's evident that such a fellow knows nothing about communication. Even with that
Exactly.
attitude, even with
Yeah.
that attitude. And then another thing, when you ask such questions, we should be able to calmly and politely let them realize that when you say, what next? I've been married, what next? The next thing is to stay married.
Exactly.
The next
Mm,
thing is to stay married.
yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, most
It's
people
not
Because
just
like,
enough to get
stay
married. Eh?
married. They feel like staying married means doing the basics. Okay, for the on the part of the man, staying married means I'm able to provide for you. So there's a roof over your head. You have provided you with money. That's what staying married means. On the part of the woman, staying married means okay, I'm able to cook your meals. I'm able to care for the kids. If I can do all that, what are you talking about again?
All
So
right.
is that misconception that blocks
let me
the here.
you know, Titi, this is, I like the aspect and the way Titi brings this conversation out, and I'm going to ask Barrister Kade to comment, but hold on, I'm coming to you. There's a comment I want you to comment because you are a politician.
Wow, I can you imagine. Okay, oh, I'm ready. Oh.
Okay, okay, hold on. So someone has said some people are lazy to unlearn what they knew and learn new things no matter how wrong. Oh my God, it's even laziness to refuse to unlearn what is wrong. Ah,
Yeah.
this is so fantastic, Solomon. Thank you. It's a big point that you've just raised there. You know, there are a lot of things that maybe we learned from our backgrounds that are not, they are no longer workable. People, they are no longer, they don't fit into your current system. You don't have to keep doing it. Oh, this is how my fathers have always done it. This is how my mothers have always done it. So it has also, in fact, this is how we do it in our village. Hello, people of God. If it's not working for your relationship, it's laziness for you to refuse to unlearn. My God, I heard that somewhere. All right, I'm coming to the point City made, talking about the fact that, you know, when men, mostly, we are not trying to antagonize men, and thank God by Sakade is here, he will speak for the men spoke, that when they get married, in their mind it is, I now have the cat in the bag, so nothing else to do. And when I mean, one time this debate was going on online, someone said, have you ever seen a politician come back to campaign after he has won an election?
It's
And
all right.
I was so mad. Like, is that a proper analogy? Is
It's
that a
very,
proper?
very improper. Very improper one.
Good,
Very,
good.
very improper one.
Yeah.
You get? Because to start with, the process of campaign requires multitudes. How
Mm,
about the process of marriage is one on one? Is one on one v one.
mm, mm.
So from the foundation ab initio, that analogy is mismatched. So please unlearn it. Let me use Salome Requeza's words. Unlearn it right now.
Yes.
All right?
Mm,
Let's unlearn it right now. You don't
mm-hmm.
compare campaigns with the institution, the
You
institute of
don't even
marriage.
need to
All
campaign
right.
after the election. You don't need it. What you need is action.
No, it's
You
not
need
even
is to start
after the
doing
election. What
everything
we
you
are saying is
said.
that no, no. What we are saying is that the process that leads to marriage can never be likened to a campaign, because for a campaign you need multitudes, but for the marriage proper you just need one woman, one man. So that distinguishes the issue. So thank God that I have used my legal knowledge to thwart that political instinct you think is in me. I hope I've been able to answer you satisfactorily. One
Yes.
of the
Thank you
first
very
things they taught us in the faculty of law, any university, is they will teach you to learn to distinguish situations and issues. They may look so similar, but on one ground, technical or otherwise, there will be a difference. And that's why I say you cannot compare campaigns towards an election to courtship or to a successful marriage. Because I've told you, in a campaign, you are talking to many people. In a marriage, you are talking to one person. So you can't compare.
Thank you
Okay,
very thank,
thanks
thank
for
you,
that.
thank you for clarifying that. Titi was making a point about the fact that if I heard her right, when you marry, you're no longer campaigning. It's time for action. Tell me,
Yes.
Titi.
Mhm. That's for those that want to compare. Assuming you want to compare, like you campaigned that probably during when you were dating, you brought out your manifesto and told the woman, "I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that," and that's fine. And after you win, it's now time for you to act. So it's now time for you to deliver on your promises. And we're all humans. No one is perfect. Sometimes you are going to err. There's no how you're going to do it. So
Mm,
it's not all about being perfect or
mm,
saying, I'm trying my best. Sometimes your best is just not good enough.
yes.
Yes, that's
Sometimes
true.
your best is good enough for you because you're looking
Yes.
at it from your own perspective. So from my perspective as a woman, I'm saying, okay, I'm cooking your food, I'm taking care of the kids, I'm doing everything I should do, in quotes, and you're still complaining. What else do you want? From the perspective of the man, he's thinking, I'm providing for you. I work my butt off every single day just to make sure that I'm providing for this family. So how can you dare say that I'm lazy? I'm not
All
lazy,
right.
you know. So that's the whole, So sometimes you just need to
but,
understand this.
but
The
where is
need.
the romance? Where is the romance?
Mm-hmm,
If both of you decide to stick to traditional duties,
mm-hmm,
then where lies the romance?
mm-hmm,
Where is the taking out? Where
mm-hmm,
are some of the messages you send quickly from work? Oh,
mm-hmm.
sweetheart, I'm thinking about you. I love you. Oh,
Exactly.
sweetheart, whatever happened this morning,
It
I'm
goes
saying
a
I'm
long
sorry
way. Me, I
once
love those
again.
ones.
Yes,
I love those ones. So me, I love those
yeah.
ones.
Can you imagine? That's a proof. That's a test. That's a testament to what we are saying. So you cannot afford to stick so blindly to the traditional duties. We are talking about upping the standards. Let's
Mm-hmm.
raise the bar. Let's raise the bar.
What bar
Okay?
are we raising? It's like it's like I'm just playing the devil's advocate here. It's
I
like
know.
some people's in their minds they're like they can't fathom, like, what are you talking about? As in, do you want me to make more money? What bar are we talking about here?
Thank you so much. So you see what that question Titi just raised is a point that, and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be sexist, but it's a point that
Okay.
it seems men don't get, Barrister Kande. You have to help us help the men here. You
All
know,
right.
hold on. Sometimes when you're trying to give that, um, you're trying to express the fact that you want more, like you're saying now, we have to raise the bar. Most times their mind goes to money. Okay, I buy you this, I buy you that, I provide food. What else do you want?
All right.
But
I think
like like
at
you
this
were
point, I
saying,
should.
like you were saying,
Yes.
where's the romance? Where's the care? Where's the,
Yeah.
making time for me? Where's the
That's it.
sensitivity? The
That's it.
sensitivity. These days, you
That's
even
it.
hear men say women are too sensitive. This generation of women, they are too sensitive. Hello, then let the men to up their sensitivity quota. I don't know, sorry, help us help the men. What do you think? Are we
Well,
too sensitive? Are we asking for too much?
well, it's okay. Titi. I called you 3 times. I'm appealing to you to just calm down and hear me out. Maybe I'll use my own personal example. I'm very romantic. In fact, I used to tell my wife I'm unapologetically romantic.
Hmm.
For example, she wants to wake up, get out of bed without no affirmation, no hug, no kisses. Babe, you don't do that.
Babe, you
Where are
don't
you
do
from?
that. Okay, tell me.
Where are you from?
Mhm.
Nobody does that. Before you get out of bed, I mean, tone down, tone down. Whatever it is that is agitating your mind, just tone down. Give me a kiss, I deserve it. Give me a hug. Tell me into my ears, I love you, sweetheart. We
Oh.
settled that issue long ago.
Mm.
The moniker for addressing ourselves. I just don't. I won't come to the table with that dear, or some people say my dear. I think for me it's anachronistic. So I like sweetheart. Dickhead. No, no, no. Don't look at the construction. Sweetheart. Hmm? When you address your husband in that way, it shows you are emotionally strong and committed. All right. So you have to work on marriage. You are saying which bar are we raising? We are raising so much bar. That's why we tell you that, for instance, money isn't everything. Money is central. Don't be deceived. It's called to marriage on one hand, and it makes a woman happier too on the other hand. So I will never be tempted by beautiful women, two of them are that, who are saying that what bar are we raising? We are raising so much bar, oh, because the issue of money is important to you. You know that. And there are times there will be drought in the family economy. There will be drought at times. And so the man has to come in seriously creative in another way. So we can raise the bar in terms of our commitment values, romantic sides to everything. Sometimes I tell my wife, babe, can we just go for a walk? And she's like, you see, it's women that have that ceiling, glass ceiling thing more. And she says, I'm tired. I've done that. It's okay, it's all right. You have your way. And then I'll come in and say, but then I make such requests many more times because I'm confident in the public about who I'm working with. So that anybody who does not know before that vehicles have been parked and who intends to park will be doing so at owner's risk. Do you get Titi? Titi is not smiling at all. Well,
She's,
I
she's,
guess we need more time to talk about this,
she's,
and
keenly, she's
I
keenly
agree with
listening to
you. I
you.
agree with you. Like I said, I was
oh,
playing the devil's
yeah,
advocate
just
because
play the devil's
that's
advocate.
where
Okay.
the challenge is for most people. Because if both parties have this understanding, there won't be an issue.
At all. Honestly, I tell you the truth. Even me that have this understanding at the moment, I keep having issues with it. I'm telling you, no secrets. And we
Yeah.
need to help those who are watching and listening to us. All right, I'm 15 years old in marriage, like she said, and we are still, trying to settle some fundamental basics. But the issue is because it's work oriented in nature, you keep working at it. Now they tell us that if you see anybody celebrating 40, 50 years of marriage, that's 50 years of hard work.
Yeah.
If you see anybody,
Yeah.
any couple celebrating 40 years, 50 years of marriage, it's 50 years of hard work, 50 years of forgiveness.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So we should be able to apply the same thing, mutatis mutandis, to our own lives. Sometimes I'm really, angry with my wife. And then sometimes I'll know that I advise myself, no, calm down, guy. Just calm down, oh, calm down. Let's you are making mistakes. So it's a very painful thing when love is sweeter when the other party knows how to respond. So, but
Yes.
if he or she is not responding appropriately, you won't force it. One, take that. You are not going to force it, but then you work on it. You keep telling he or she that these are the things I expect until someday there'll be light at the end of the tunnel. But we have to keep raising the bar. We just have to. This marriage can get sweeter. This marriage can get better. That countless times that I've made up my mind. I'm quitting my marriage. Okay, but at times too I laugh at myself. I say, can you imagine, look at this dagger. He wants to quit his marriage, now he's enjoying the thing. So sometimes too, while you have settled, you will still have, okay, that's is the topsy-turvy nature of marriage. We need to advert the minds of those who are getting into it. It's not child's play.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Barrister. And like Titi said, we've played the devil's advocate, and we've come to a very beautiful conclusion here that it takes two to tango, and
Yeah,
sometimes, truthfully, some of us as women are also not trying. We have to say the truth, and you please watch. I'm very careful with the words I'm using when I say some of us, because life happens. Children are there, like the one that wakes up in the morning now does not remember to give a hug and kiss. Maybe all her mind is, I want to go and prepare children for school. I
We
want to
are
have
doing it together. Forget.
I
We
want
are
to
doing it together. She's not alone in it.
calm down. I'm not giving excuse. I'm just trying to draw a point here to say we should both be
Ah, I know, I
we
know.
should both be intentional. We should both be intentional in ensuring that we are not lazy in keeping our emotional tanks full. And if you know what your partner loves, I'm still trying to, will I say, meet up with my husband too, because if you leave him, Mr. Romantic, I don't know whether we'll even be eating. All we'll be eating and drinking will be love. Apart from prayer, I don't think any of that. The next thing is love, as my husband is concerned. And sometimes I feel like, well, Benny, let's face life, let's,
So, my
I'm,
sister, look,
let
there's
me
my
back.
sister. I remember a point. Just adverted my mind to an issue. A
Yes.
lot is happening at home, and let's be pragmatic. A lady, a younger sister lady who is married, told me lately that, see, my husband cannot do anything. It just occurred to me that that is laziness too on his own. My husband cannot do anything. He can't do the dishes. He can't do anything.
Yeah.
She said, look, I will leave him on the strength of that. I said, that's serious. But anyway, in Yoruba culture, they say ile oko ile eko ni. So, and there's no ile aya. So that ile oko that is ile eko is not only ile eko for the wife, it's also ile eko for the husband. I said, look, speak to him. Can I come in? And she said she will find out from him if I can come in. I said, okay, you do well, find out. And she found out, and the guy at first said, no, who is he? I said, give me his number. I begged her. She gave me the husband's number. I spoke with the guy. I met with him and told him, a young man, who told you that when you do the dishes, you have spiritually lost the home. You've lost the leadership of the home. Who said so to you? Where is it? Where is it? I said, look, don't do that. I do the dishes at home. Yes, the Tosin Akonde that speaks on TVC, that speaks on. Look, I had an interview many years back. The former British PM, Margaret Thatcher, before she goes to her office at 10 Downing, thank God you are in the UK. Before she goes to her office at 10 Downing, she prepares the tea to serve her husband. There's another side of us. Okay, fine, you see us on TV, we talk, you think so that's where it ends. There is the soft side of us. A partner, especially a man, I'm training my boys. I have three. I'm training them. A young man should be able to do the dishes effortlessly for your wife when you grow up. All right, thank you. So
Good.
these are the issues. So these are the issues. It's almost ruining a lady's home. The mere fact that the guy doesn't want to do anything. I said, no, where are you getting that from? I do dishes at home. I wash my children's clothes sometimes if I'm free at home. It is, in fact, that's the best time to enter into their hearts. When I'm taking them to school at times, sometimes if they are on vacation, that's when I engage them. They will tell you everything. So there are dynamics of making up the home, to bless your partner, quote and unquote. So these are issues, please, please. The main folk should get this. It doesn't mean I'm a weakling. It doesn't in any way.
Thank you so much. Thank you. You all have heard it from, it's not a horse, it's from a man's mouth.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and the era of the way people traditionally share these roles. I keep asking, I don't know where this role sharing started from and all of that, but that era is not really where we are now anymore. Every area where you feel like there's a need in your relationship, we should all help it's partnership. We should be working together to grow, to do things together, to learn,
Yeah,
to unlearn, to be better. It's laziness not to learn the things you need to learn to
I
make
tell
your
you.
relationship better.
I tell you.
You need to operate in 2024 as if you are doing 1959 marriage. It's laziness
Yeah,
because information is there now. It wasn't like in those days. You go online, you read your Bible, people preach about it. There were times when churches didn't used to have conversation about relationship. Now we have, YouTube channel. We are here, we are live today. We're talking about relationship. Some of these things were not possible some years back. So
that's
you
true.
cannot still wait and be using the formula of 1959 to operate your current relationship and expect it to
Right.
work. we've touched on it, but the last part of the conversation is around laziness in providing financial stability. And
Ah.
this is not just about money, because I don't want people to think it's just about money. It's about looking at your family and saying, are we financially stable? What can we do? And this is a we thing. Remember, we're not talking about, oh, a man must provide, a woman must provide. Yes, we know that people will quickly quote the Bible and tell you, oh, the Bible says the man who does not provide is worse than an
First Timothy chapter 5 verse 8.
But at the same time, we know that where we are and the generation that we are today, women are earning, men are earning. How can we avoid laziness? And I would like Titi to start, and then we'll come back to you, Barrister. How can we
It's
avoid
okay.
laziness in creating a financially stable home?
I think it all goes back to what we've been saying, or something I had mentioned earlier about being open. So when you were just talking a while back, you mentioned something like when you talked about traditional roles, you don't know where all these things came from. That
Mhm.
is usually the problem. Most of these things are biblical
So,
and cultural. And for those of us that are Christians, most people have been able to deal with the cultural aspect. Say, okay, let's leave the culture. We're now Christians, blah 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 blah. So the challenge now is the biblical aspect, the biblical interpretation of these supposedly traditional rules. So which is causing a lot of mayhem, which is causing a lot of dissolution of so many marriages. Because now in the woman's mind, somewhere in her mind, she feels that it is the man's responsibility to be financially savvy. It is anything finance. He just has to figure it out. And here is the man coming from a background of zero financial intelligence.
mm,
Oh.
He has been told
I
make
like that
money,
word,
make money, make money.
financial intelligence.
Nobody has told him how to stabilize the money.
Mm,
So the wife comes into the marriage scene, putting all the responsibility, which is a huge responsibility. Imagine the times we are in now on the man, even if he's able to provide physically, it is just a lot. So it puts a huge responsibility on him to provide and to stabilize. So why are you in the marriage? What are you doing? What are you supposed to be doing?
as
So
a
there's
helper.
supposed to be You're supposed to be working together, even financially, even in terms of providing. So it's not all about I'm making all the money, I'm making all the money. There are people that don't make as much, but are financially stable.
That's it.
So it's all about coming together. Again, unlearn this blocked mindset that a man is a man, I'm supposed to provide for the man. And that pressure is on him. I'm not providing enough, there's a problem. And it leads to stress, anger, resentment on the part of the man,
Hypertension, untimely death.
and all that. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a huge factor that we need to, the key is to begin to help people understand that you need to have an open mind when it comes to anything. And financial intelligence is not an exception. Yeah.
I agree. I agree that, in fact, it's not just the man, sometimes even the woman, not knowing that as a helper in a relationship, it includes being a financial helper, is also lack of financial intelligence. When you go into a relationship thinking everything has to come from the man has to provide the money, the man has to plan how the money is spent, where the money goes. If he cannot, then he's no longer a man. Let's run him down, let him kill himself, let him go and steal, or whatever, rather than help. Because, like, Barrister Kande was saying, sometimes there's a drought. There can be a drought. There's even the millionaires. I think the Africa's richest man is currently crying out. So even even millionaires have times when they are broke, or when they are not financially, when they are not financially there. But that financial intelligence, I like the word Titi calls it, financial intelligence, I believe, can contribute a lot to stability. Okay, let's come to Barrister before I conclude. Our time is running. Oh, 1 hour is almost gone. All right, Barrister, we're talking about financial stability.
Well, at the heart of whatever kind of counsel I'll give in this context is that you should have a good nature. When you have a good nature, it will tilt towards the financial intelligence of
Mm,
Titi, that the one the Titi was adverting to.
mm,
Financial intelligence most times comes from a good heart. Why, for instance, let me be a little bit more specific, and I'm aware time is fast running. Why, for instance, do partners have money, the financial clout, and are not leveraging on it with one another?
mm,
It's out of a very negative demonic heart. Nothing can make me, for example, not if I work hard. That's my personal belief. I believe that because even a woman, so that means what it is said, much of what she said is targeted at women. Maybe she does not realize that, or I have to open it and lay it there. Because there's no woman. Women have told me several times, including my dear comfort, that sometimes when a man doesn't have money, it affects relationships and marriages. So, but we are not blaming you, because I used to tell my guys too that, see, go and read the Bible very well. Creation story has finished before Eve came into the picture. So
mm,
you should be able to have, fashioned out your plans. Just taking one help. I mean, one tip of counsel here and there from the woman. You yourself should have done more than 80, 90% of the total financial outlay. But then there is going to be ample room for the woman to come in and say, okay, how about this side? Let's do it this way or that way. So for me, it's a no-brainer. For example, to have so much resources and be hiding. I see couples who do that for themselves. Is that not part of the financial unintelligence? Let me add my own to it. Is that not part of the financial unintelligence we are talking about? So if you are able to navigate to the right, you should be able to balance and navigate as well to the left to create a balance, a sense of balance. If we are talking desirably about financial intelligence, let us also talk about avoiding financial unintelligence, beginning with one another. That, okay, today somebody gave me £20, all right, and that's from the husband, and then tomorrow, oh, you know that my friend, she gave me £30. Let's be open. I am like that with my own wife, but guys keep telling me that, no, you are making a mistake. And I know women too also counsel one another, most times wrongly. So at the heart of it all is a good heart, a good heart that has conscience. If you are able to speak conscience into ourselves, you will see that the issue of what amounts to financial intelligence or otherwise will not really matter, because you will be there with yourselves. You will be naked, like the Bible said, and you will not know it.
mm, what an analogy. Okay, so underneath what I'm hearing from both of you is openness. To be open
That's it.
to yourselves about, what's your income, how what's coming in, how are we planning, how are we using it. I remember that last week the mommy we had here said, if you've not planned, you've not planned your money, there's no budget in your family, there's no planning for how the money is coming and being spent, then you've already started having it's like you've already planned to fail. It's
That's it.
really already knocking on your door, because how do you both run one home with two captains or two different plans? The
Hmm.
man has a different financial plan, the woman has a different financial plan, and everybody's
Yes.
going in two different directions. So it's to
That's
be
it.
open, to yourself, to say, this is what we have, this is what we have, how do we live within? And I think for me, one major thing is living within your means. That
Means.
for me is one way that I believe that people can have financial stability. Because Titi was speaking earlier and she said, people who don't have this money, but they look like they're financially stable. So it's not about having the billions, really. It's about how you plan the one you have. If what you have is a thousand,
There's
how are you planning it? How are you using it?
there's
Yes.
also something you have to be agreeable. It's not, you see, before you come to financial stability, both of you must have been moved beyond openness and then come to terms with one another. Okay, this money, let's do it, let's use it on this, let's use it on this, let's use it on that. If you haven't come to that point of agreement, nothing good will come out of that marriage. Nothing good, I tell you, not even financial stability.
Mm, mm, mm. Agreeableness. Let's be
Yes,
open. Let's be agreeable. Let's have a
that's it.
conversation. Some
That's
families
it.
don't have conversation about these things we're talking
They,
about.
they don't. They
They're not
don't.
talking about money. What do you bring? What do I bring? How do we put it together? I tell you, all
Yeah.
over the world, there are very, very rare families now where one person is carrying the load.
Yeah.
It's two hands that washes, and then the hand becomes clean. If you wash with
That's it.
one hand, most cases that hand will not be clean.
Yeah.
The percentage of what each person is carrying may vary, but please, let's make plans, let's work together, and let's create that financial stability for ourselves. Let's not be lazy. For
Uh,
me, a lazy man is not attractive. And I think a
at
lazy woman
all.
also is not attractive. These days, men
At all.
men are also asking women what they are bringing to the table. Titi, Abi? So
Yes, that's the norm now.
nobody wants to carry a liability. Nobody wants to be the one who is just waiting. You are waiting for. You want to buy a Maggie. You wait until your husband comes from work before you buy
Ah,
Maggie.
that's most undesirable. That's
You know,
undesirable.
the children
It's
need Indomie.
undesirable.
You have to wait until your dad come back. Wait until your daddy come back before you can buy one packet of Indomie. Then what are you as a woman?
That's
What's
not
your
it.
value? What's your worth? What are you bringing? I don't mind. I don't blame those who are asking. What are you bringing to the table? We all,
Yes,
it's one table, it's one family. We build together,
that's
and
it.
that's how we make it work. So we've talked
Sure.
today about one, physical laziness. That's where barista started from. Don't be dirty. Don't, even from your physique as a person, be clean.
Yeah.
Some people are too
Yes,
lazy to keep themselves clean. You
that's
said
it.
the man is not touching you. Maybe it's because you're smelling. I'm sorry, sisters.
Yeah, that's the word.
And it's not
That's it.
about having the money. It's not about bleaching. It's not about, it's simple soap, wash, clean, put roll on, smell nice. The same thing for men. Men don't know that, women too like to for a man to be attractive to them.
They like to savor, yes, attractiveness.
And you're coming to bed with all the sweat since morning you went to work, oga, go and shower.
Yeah,
When you start touching her, because she'll be irritated when you're smelling. Don't be lazy and going to bed with all the dirtiness, or your house
that's
is
it.
dirty. A man has gone to work all day. He's coming back into a smelling house. Hello,
Yes.
woman. Hello,
I mean,
man. Let's
it's
all work
unacceptable.
together. So from
Yeah,
physical laziness, we talked about emotional laziness, being too
that's it.
lazy, giving excuses, not being there for your partner, not doing what you should do, just taking it
To
for granted that we've already won election, we don't need to campaign again. Titi says it's
can you
no longer
imagine?
time for campaign, but it is time to now act on what you promised during the election. I like that one. I'm tweeting that. I'm gonna tweet that this week. It's no longer time for campaign, but it's now time to deliver on your election promises. So
There's no comparison in the first place. Campaign, like told you, involves many people
there's no comparison. Not even
in the
comparing.
first place.
And
Don't
then
go there.
finally, we talked about financial laziness. People of God, we need money to make our relationship work. Let's not
Tick.
over let's not over spiritualize it. Money makes sweet.
Yes,
Money makes love sweeter. Money is
yes,
not the love, but money makes love sweeter.
that's it.
When you can go on dates, when you can buy gifts, when you can buy flower, when you can buy rose, when you can go on cruise ship, when you can, I'm
Yeah,
counting that me I like. when you can come
Yes.
on summer vacation, the quarrel
Yes.
will be less. When you can eat good food, mouth that is eating good food will not quarrel much. So please, let's not be too lazy, even financially. All right, my time is up, everyone. And like I said, my 1 hour is not always enough when we're having fun on this platform. But we can,
That's it.
we can continue the conversation, offline. Reach out to us through our WhatsApp. You have questions, you have comments, you have things you want us to talk about. Please reach out to me. In fact, I'm calling for people to reach out to come on my love seat. You're a wonderful couple. You have a good love story. Please come here and show forth your babe or your bobo. Like Toast Barrister Kande has said, let everyone know who your babe is. That's what the love seat is about. So I think Barrister
Okay.
Kade is going to come again the next time with his own titi, because he says
Ah,
titi.
it's all right. I'll be glad to bring her on board.
We're going to bring her, and then we'll hear the love story of how you met Titi. We'll plan that. Thank you so much for coming, Barrister.
It's all
Thank you
right.
so much, Titi. Thank you all for your comments. I really enjoyed listening. A great session. See you on the next one, Omo. I'm so tired. I know. Keep soaring. We were at a retreat together with Lisa. Thank you, Lisa, for joining despite being so tired. Good
That's
discussion.
right.
Laziness all round is bad. Our mommy that was there last week, she said it's a good discussion. My husband said, brilliant discussion. So we hope you've learned something this week.
That's right.
And yeah, many, many, many comments just keep coming in. So we've had a great session, thank God. Next week we are going to be talking about how we navigate wealth and fame. Love, wealth, and fame. So too much money can be a problem. Yes or no? Next week we will be talking about that. And we have a project. I still have to solicit. We are trying to get children back to school in September. We're raising funds along with Obioma and Dr. Oreo to send children back to school in September. We want to raise some good money because September we know parents, especially in Nigeria. So we're doing this for indigent families in Nigeria. Parents struggle to get children back into the new year in September. Please reach out to me and let's know how you can support us to do this for the children. All right. I love you all. I'll see you again next week. Thank you, Titi. Always a lovely time when we have you. Thank you, Barrister. God bless your
Yeah.
marriage. God bless your home.
Amen.
Stay strong.
Amen.
I'll see you, everyone, next week by God's grace. If you've not subscribed, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Don't leave without subscribing. Have a love-filled
All
week.
right. Yeah. You